You know, it's funny when you think about it, but sounds in English, well, they don't always like to fly solo. They actually team up, they form these little pairs, and that's what creates the real flow in our speech. Today, we're diving into the very first orchestra of sound a kid learns to conduct, these things called initial consonant blends. So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with what these sound teams are all about, then we'll decode them, look at a really cool learning method called the blend ladder, find some fun ways to practice, and finally figure out how to smooth out those common stumbles and get into a real confident flow. All right, first up, the orchestra of sound. I love that phrase because this is really where the music of our language gets its start. It's what gives words their beat, their rhythm, their momentum right from the get-go. Just think about words you say every day, like play, stop, or frog. See those sounds at the beginning? The plel, st, and fur? Those are the little teams we're talking about. And this teamwork, well, that's what phonics experts call an initial consonant blend. It's kind of like a secret ingredient for becoming a fluent reader. Okay, so let's pull back the curtain and really decode these blends. We're going to break down what they are and, just as importantly, what they aren't, and get a handle on the hidden rules of how they work together. So the most important thing to get is this. In a consonant blend, you hear every single sound. Every one. Take the word blue. You can clearly hear the b, and you can clearly hear the l. They flow together for sure, but neither sound disappears. They each keep their own identity. Now, this is where people can get a little mixed up, so it's a really important distinction. A blend is not a digraph. With a blend, like cla in clap, you get two letters, two sounds. You hear the k and the l. But with a digraph, like sh in ship, those two letters fuse together to make one brand new sound. That's the whole ballgame right there. Two distinct sounds versus one new sound. So these blends, they kind of hang out in families. You've got your L blends, and for those, it's all about making a smooth movement with your tongue. Then there are the R blends, where you need to get that little curl of the tongue for the sound. With S blends, the trick is to almost whisper the S right before the next consonant. And yeah, there are even three-letter blends, which is like layering three distinct sounds right on top of each other. Okay, knowing the types is one thing, but how do you actually get good at them? Let's talk about a fantastic, super practical method for doing just that. It's called the blend ladder, and it's all about building up to that smooth, fluent sound one step at a time. Here's how it works, and it's actually pretty smart. You don't jump into the deep end. You start with a super simple word the learner already knows, something like lip. Then, you just add another consonant to the front, turning lip into clip. You practice sounding it out really slowly at first, then a little faster until it's just one smooth word. It's a great way to build that auditory coordination without making things too overwhelming. All right, theory's one thing, but we all know that practice is where the real learning sticks. So let's talk about how to make this stuff active and fun, because when you're a kid, movement and memory are totally connected. And you can get so creative here. I mean, imagine kids literally hopping between mats for blol and clol, or chanting frog like a little cheer, or playing detective with picture cards, trying to spot all the things that start with a blend. Even whispering a word like spoon for someone else to shout out. It connects the physical action to the sound, and that wires it into their brains so much better than just staring at a list of words. But of course, it's not always a perfectly smooth ride. Learners definitely hit some bumps in the road when they're trying to pronounce these blends. So let's talk about those common hurdles and a really simple fix to get right back on track. Oh yeah, this is a classic. A child is trying so hard to say frog, but what comes out is fog. That tricky little R sound just gets dropped. Or they mean to say clip, but you hear lip, because the C gets left behind. It's a super common stumble, where one of the members of that consonant team gets forgotten. So, what do? The fix is actually way simpler than you might think. First, you just pull the sounds completely apart. You say f, then a little pause, then r, so their brain can register that both sounds are there. Then you start shrinking that pause, bringing them closer and closer together. And finally, you say the word naturally, all in one go. This whole process just helps the ear and the mouth get back in sync, making sure no sound gets left behind. And that, really, gets to the heart of this whole thing. Learning consonant blends, it's not just some little reading exercise. It's actually a pretty deep form of cognitive training. You're building this incredible, complex coordination between what the mind knows, what the ear is hearing,
and what the tongue is physically able to do.
So the next time you hear a word like splash, or train, or cloud, just take a second and remember the incredible teamwork that's happening just to get those sounds out into the world. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden patterns are out there powering the very words we speak every single day?